Today, we're going to take a look at how we created this particular glass flower blooming animation. Unlike most of the videos on my channel, we're not going to go step by step, so it should be a lot faster, but you should get the basic idea of everything that you need to create your own animation just like this. With that, let's begin the tutorial. The base for our flower is just going to be a curved circle. And of course, we've used a group input so that we can control the number of petals that we want. So we'll just keep it at 10 for now. Then we convert all of the curves to points just so that we have the rotation socket exposed that we can use to actually align the curved lines that we're going to add in over here. So on each of those points, we instance a curved line. And of course, to help choose the length, we can just combine the XYZ and use the X value as the petal length that goes into our curve. Then to actually give it the petal-like shape, we resample it and then set position based off of the spline parameter factor, which we control using a float curve so that we can change it to whatever shape we want. Now the problem is this is currently going to all of the axes. We want it to go only on the y-axis, so let's just unmute that. And to enhance the effect, we can use this multiply node, and that makes it more exaggerated. We'll look at the vertical randomization in a second, but what we need to know is we add in this trim curve node so that we can control the actual end value and have the leaves actually grow out using this single slider right over here. Next, we can go ahead and look at the petal width first. So to convert these from actual curves to a mesh, we just use a curve to mesh with the profile curve as a curved line. Again, we can choose the scale to be a custom float curve, just like this. And let's also just realize the instances so that we get it on the correct axis. So right now you see the problem is that there's too much of overlap occurring that causes these black lines everywhere across every single petal. To fix that, we actually use this vertical randomization where we just add a small random value on the z-axis, which just helps prevent most of the overlap. It's still present, but it's not as uniform, which makes it feel a little more natural. Next, every single one of these are curving up in the exact same shape. So if you want to add in a little bit of randomization right over there, we can set position with some noise texture, and of course that's a bit too much, so we can scale it down. Now this adds in the randomization, but we don't want the central area to also be randomized, so we go ahead and scale that as well using a gradient texture, which helps ensure that we isolate only these tips and not the central region. So now that we have that created, we can give each petal some thickness simply by extruding the mesh and joining it with the original. And then we can just merge by distance and subdivide the mesh so that we get nice, smooth, but thick petals. Next, we want to cover up this central region. You can do that in many ways. The way I wanted to go about it is to use this exact same setup to also create what could look like stamens. So let's go ahead and just use a repeat zone and simply join in the original geometry by transforming it a bit. And we transform it by essentially scaling it down based on which number it is and a little bit of math, which gives us this little structure right in the center, which I think looks great. Then we can go ahead and just set a material for it. Now for the material, it's also actually fairly simple. We're just going to mix in a glass BSDF with an emission BSDF. And now it doesn't look too good. So we need to decide which areas are going to be glass and which areas are going to be emission. And we do that by simply using a layer weight node. And instead of having everything controlled by the layer weight, we also use this little gradient texture and multiply it so that the effect of the layer weight is more prominent towards these edges and not necessarily towards the center. Because we have all of these smaller particles in the center, everything would just become emissive. So that's why we control it using this gradient texture. Next, to actually give the glass some amount of texture, we can add in this particular bump node, and we're essentially trying to use a noise texture, but a noise texture gives it fairly random. So to make sure that it goes along the direction of the petals, we're going to be using this radial gradient texture. So if you just hook everything up, we get the actual noise texture going along the length of each of the petals, which is exactly what we want. We can just control that a little bit more using a color ramp, and that's it. Next up, the emission is currently just white. So we can choose the color to be a random mixture of red and pink. And then we can actually change the brightness of this using a ray depth node. And to make it even more prominent, we can just square the value by multiplying it by itself. So now whenever light goes through more refractions and more layers, it's going to get brighter, which just makes it look absolutely magical. And that's all there is to creating this flower. If you actually take a look at the leaves are nothing more than almost the exact same setup with the colors changed, a few options removed in the geometry node editor, and the number of petals reduced down to 2. The main flower stem is just a Bezier curve with a little bit of bevel thickness. And of course, the material is also fairly similar, where we're just mixing in a glass with emission using the Fresnel layer weight. So once you adjust the rotation and everything, you could be good to render, but before rendering, you can add in a lot of these background elements. Finally, once you've added in all of your background assets, maybe some gobos to get these nice volumetric rays, for which you'd obviously require a volumetric cube, and maybe adding in some particles and of course spot lamps and everything like that. With whatever background you want just to fill up the space, you could get an animation that looks something like this. I hope this animation actually taught you something and you're able to grasp most of the techniques so that you could create something really cool by yourself without necessarily having to follow through a step-by-step tutorial. I have over 400 step-by-step tutorials on my channel, which should get you proficient enough with Blender to be able to follow along tutorials just like this, which should get you really cool ideas to make really cool animations. Comment down below what I should make next, and until the next video comes out, thank you so much for watching, keep creating, and don't forget to stay creative.